The progression of technology has been relentless and ever-expanding. Since humans were able to harness the power of electricity, the innovation it has allowed has extended into every nook and cranny of civilization, more recently including prosthetics. As the trend of innovation suggests, the better that we as a society are to producing or more completely understanding a certain thing, that thing inevitably becomes smaller, more efficient, cheaper, more accessible, easier to produce, and connected to the internet. If the same process were to theoretically occur within the field of bionic prosthetics, then an eye with better hardware than camera and video equipment of today, combined with better user interfacing of internet and smart devices of today, could potentially have the accessibility of a consumer product tomorrow. As the device would seamlessly integrate digital information into my field of view via a heads-up display, it would potentially nullify any need to interact physically with the device in order to do simple online tasks such as web browsing, communication, or basic application use. Dependent on the level of innovation within the eye, this could save me and the environment from having to replace my smartphone every 2 years, my tablet every 3, and my computer every 5, instead replacing much smaller, less environmentally impactful parts within the eye as necessary. Waste reduction? That's your opening argument? Sure, it might show a decline for you and the marginal group out there enough to do the same thing as you, but what about those who want to replace their arms and legs? Eyes, lungs, and other organs are pretty universally able to be transplanted, but arms and legs, not so much. By reducing the waste left by computers and smart devices, you're instead replacing it with a new, much more morbid form of waste. Not to mention excessive, as we're now cultivating a mentality within society that even our own body is disposable. We're oblivious enough as it is, not to mention if we maintain even less care for our safety and well-being. Speaking of safety, if we're to be living in a society in which our brainwaves can be translated by a computer and digitalized throughout the internet, what's stopping a hacker from taking over our mind, consciousness, and movements themselves, leaving us completely at his or her mercy? That seems like rather an excessive risk to take just so you can check your social media without looking at a screen. If you think our minds are going to be hacked as easily as a computer, then you're sorely mistaken. I don't even need to speculate about biometric encryption because it's around today. Scientists are already developing forms of digital security that are linked to unique biological information. Aside from the fact that these new bionic devices are very unlikely to interface with the entire brain, rather specific sections that would be utilized by the device itself. For example, my bionic eye will be likely linked to the part of my brain that interprets visual information. However, it is unlikely that it will be linked to the part that allows my thoughts and actions to be persuaded by external influence. This would be the same for any bionic enhancement. As long as the device is unable to interface with the entire brain, it is unlikely that an entire dead man level mind and body hack would be possible. Which doesn't address the even more ridiculous assumption that this would be an AR version of a social media hub. Keep in mind that this is a computer and web browser that can be controlled with a thought. If the only thing you can think of replicating is a newsfeed, then perhaps you need some more time developing your own brain before you go about enhancing it. Imagine bumping into someone you don't know what to say to, and instantly have them surrounded by social media updates of their most notable recent events. A traveller who could instantly read and interpret foreign languages. An architect who could visualize blueprints to scale and make adjustments as they see them. A doctor who could synchronize their eye with keyhole surgery from the other side of the world. Plus, considering that this is a computer connected to the human brain, what's to stop it from functioning as a memory extension, or as a means to instantly download knowledge, like in the Matrix?